So I don't think I see too many, but there might be an empty chair or two that you're not saving for someone. If there's an empty chair next to you and you want to raise a hand, I'm seeing a couple hands just in case somebody would rather find a spot to sit. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. It's definitely a pleasure to have such a full house again for this morning's last lecture. For those of you that might not have joined us at other last lectures, we invite our faculty or staff colleagues to share what they would want to say to the college community and especially to our students if they knew it were the last time they were addressing us. It is indeed not a retirement speech, okay? That's just the premise of the last lecture. We remind you of that. Surprise! No, yeah, no. No, it's not a retirement speech. Okay. So it's my pleasure this morning to welcome you to our second last lecture for this semester. To eat on our St. Norbert College campus is to know the hard work and the love of many chefs and dining services staff. Beloved in that crew is one Chef Dan, who you might know from Chef Dan's chili fame. We are not flinging it out at the audience this morning, I don't think. No, yeah. If you haven't tried it, you really should. Chef Dan's chili has been known to sway a few vegetarians along the way. But many of us, myself included, may not have had a chance to know Chef Dan in a more personal way. So I did a little digging this morning using a resource that's known to help us deeply engage with one another. That would be Twitter. Now, despite the limits of that medium, here's just a little bit of what I saw. Today they're serving ancho grilled pork chops with lime. No, never mind. That's not. I did see that, but that's not the point. Here's some of what I saw. An affectionate word about a colleague who had passed away. A response to a colleague who wondered why they served pot roast on May 5th, to which Chef Dan said, quote, "If you would have eaten Mexican in the calf, chances are you would not go out and support a local Hispanic restaurant for dinner." A tweet to an alum that reads, quote, "You have a great kid. See him just about every day eating in the marketplace. Chip off the old block." And many other words of greeting and affection, some to colleagues, some to friends, and I'm jealous to report some to Packers players. All of us in this room know that Chef Dan helps us nourish our bodies on a daily basis. We look forward in these moments to some nourishment of the mind and heart in his last lecture this morning. Please help me welcome Chef Dan.
That was a very kind introduction. Thank you very much, Julie. I hope everybody brought their pen and paper today for all the awe-inspiring things I'm about to say. I do want to thank everybody for coming today, and you're right, Julie, there will be no Chef Dan's chili today. That went out in an email yesterday, so I really am surprised that so many of you showed up. I am very fortunate to have most of my family here today. Sitting right up there, if you want to just stand up and or wave, whatever you want to do. He came to. My wife, in her most encouraging way, when I walked in, the first person I saw, and I said, "Geez, I didn't think you were going to be able to get off of school," because she's a teacher, and she said, "Well, you know, I did talk to my principal. I thought you'd need at least 7 or 8 people here to listen to you." So thank you for coming, dear. In preparing for this last lecture, I've never been to a last lecture before. My team of production and all of our dining room staff, we are normally busy working and putting out a meal for all of our student and faculty and staff at this time. So this is the first time I've ever been to one. It's a good thing I showed up since I was the person giving the last lecture, but I went online and I checked out some of the past last lectures that have been done here at St. Norbert. There's a whole library of videos of those, and the first one I watched was one given by Hafer. Wow, I mean, Gary is really a deep thinker, and he's very spiritual. I just want to let you all know that if you're looking for that at this last lecture, you're not going to get it. But I'll do my best. I continue to watch a few more just so I can get an idea of exactly what these things are all about. Next, I watched one by Sandy Oderzinski. I mean, are you kidding me? Economics and the last lecture together? I mean, I can't touch either of that. I really can't. Next, I watched Debbie Foss's, and that was so sincere, and again, very deep thinking, and again, no. Then I watched Cordy Goddard's last lecture, and Cordy, after watching yours, I knew I was truly in trouble. Again, service and leadership, and you did a great job. The last one I watched, I thought, well, I'll watch one more. I watched Tim Coughlin's. Is Tim here? Did I see Tim coming? Oh, there's Tim up there. Tim, I want to let you know you gave me hope. Thank you. So, no, you did a great job. You really did. I loved it. I'd like to start off by giving a little background on myself. First, what I want to talk today is about family. Family is the most important thing to me in my life. I have two families. I have my St Norbert family, and then I have my family that all came to support me today. Well, you're all family. I was born and raised in Green Bay. My parents were Norbert and Dan Froelich. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, which was the norm back, 50 years ago. My dad was a police officer and then Brown County Sheriff for 18 years. Both my parents are deceased now. I have 6 sisters. I was the 5th born of 7. Being raised with 6 sisters has helped me immensely in relating with my 3 immediate supervisors, Mary Jo Morris, Ruth Johnson, and Eileen Yankee. I'm very comfortable having them all as my supervisors. Unlike my sisters growing up, I have never heard Mary Jo, Ruth, or Eileen fighting over wearing each other's clothes. Growing up, my dad, even though he was a very busy man, being county sheriff and owning a piano bar, he had a different time back then, and he had much influence today how I think politically and socially. I remember every Christmas, my dad, as the county sheriff, arranged a food drive for the needy and underprivileged families. It was important to give back to the suffering he saw as a police officer. I had the great opportunity going into homes of these people to help deliver the hams, chickens, turkeys, and canned goods that were collected. Being able to see how little people had and how happy they were to receive the food had made a marked impression on on me and how small of a deed that you can do for somebody. It's huge to them to be able to receive these things. So as much help as you can give somebody out there, it's so important to do it. One of the other great advantages of having a father as the county sheriff is when being stopped for speeding, you always get off with a verbal warning. I really appreciated that the 25 to 30 times it happened to me. I was very fortunate to grow up in a time when everything you needed was in a 3-block area around your house. Every neighborhood had their own church, school, grocery store, bakery, pharmacy, butcher shop, and of course a liquor store. As a kid, you get up in the morning, you go outside and play, you might run home for a quick sandwich, then back again outside, play till dinner, and then after dinner, it was night games outside. It was really a fantastic time to grow up, and I think we need to go back to more of that with our families instead of all the gaming and all this kind of stuff and the cell phones. We were lucky as kids. I went through Catholic grade school and high school. Getting out of high school was probably the greatest day of my life at that time. I was never one much for school. Really had no idea what I wanted to do with myself. Worked at different jobs that really kind of aimless. Where I was going and what was important to me was where was the next party coming from. I was tending bar at a local establishment at the time and also tending bar on the River Queen, which many of you remember is a riverboat that went up and down the Fox River. My dad was one of the co-owners of that. One from the piano bar to the riverboat. Something happened to me while working as a bartender on the boat. I started hanging out with one of the girls that was a deckhand. Her name was Marianne Novak. She's right over there. By the end of the summer, we were engaged, and 2 years later, we were married. This was the best thing that ever happened to me, even better than graduating from high school. That has really been a fortunate thing for me because she gave me some aim in my life and gave me some direction. You know, after trying the restaurant business for a while and having a failed attempt at that, I decided I liked the cooking aspect of the hospitality world. I got a job at a couple different local restaurants, started learning the trade, and I really dove into it with both feet. I really educated myself by reading many culinary training manuals and working with other chefs, asking many questions and trying many new things on my own to educate myself. I really had a desire to be a good chef. I found it a place, you know, a passion that I had. And it really drove me, that passion drove me to be successful. And, you know, I found it something hey, maybe I'm actually pretty good at this. So, you know, that was a direction I decided I did want to go. How did I get to St. Norbert? Well, I was working at the Holiday Inn downtown as a head banquet chef. And a gentleman that I had previously worked with at the Holiday Inn stopped in one day to see me, and he got a job at St. Norbert and was leaving to move out of town, and he said, hey, you should apply for that job there. It's a pretty good place to work. Thought about it, you know, and currently working at the Holiday Inn, working my 75 hours a week, really wasn't great with having 2 kids and a wife, and wasn't real conducive to family life. So I thought about it, and I applied, and luckily I got the job here. That was in 1989. I'd like to say I've been blessed with 2 families. First, I'd like to talk about my St. Norbert College family. I remember my first day of work at St. Norbert. Came into work, and I was put on to cleaning chicken pieces. And this is something I'd have somebody doing for me at my previous job. And so as I'm cleaning these pieces, and I'm thinking, oh boy, you know, got it done. And I remember that night working my first banquet at St. Norbert, and I'm used to, you know, being at the Holiday Inn, which, you know, we did some nice things. You know, you're serving your steaks, your prime ribs, your seafoods, and veal things. And I came here and they were serving spaghetti with this really weird kind of sauce on it, and canned corn, and a candied crab apple for a garnish. And I'm looking at this thing, oh God. I still remember walking back to my car that night thinking, what did I do? Well, it's almost 25 years later now, and I'm still here, so it couldn't have been too bad, you know? Needless to say, our dining services has come a long way in our culinary creativity since then. I knew very little bit about St. Norbert College when I first started working here. Even though I lived my entire life in the Green Bay area, I always thought St. Norbert as being a school where a bunch of rich kids from Chicago came. Other than that, not much more except it was a Norbertine college. It did not take long before I realized the students were not all rich or from Chicago. I started working at St. Norbert the very first day classes started in 1989. One of those first days I worked, I started working with 2 young men. They were freshmen from small towns in Wisconsin. I worked with these 2 gentlemen for the next 4 years in the kitchen. They became good friends and still are good friends of mine to this day. You know, these 2 plus numerous other students I worked with showed me there were all types of students here at St. Norbert. My original thoughts of the rich kids from Chicago was not accurate. I have been able to meet young men and young women from all over the United States, for that matter all over the world, that have worked in the kitchen, that we've served in the dining room, and it's been my pleasure to do so. Months into my career at St. Norbert, I learned that a relative of mine that worked in advancement here at the college, his name was Dick Eisch, had passed away. He'd only worked here a short while. Dick was married to my cousin Dolores. Dick was a great guy, and he and Dolores have a wonderful family. I still remember going to the funeral mass at the church here on campus, and was just really impressed by the support the Eisch family received from the college community, and how appreciative my cousin Dolores and her family were for what the college had done for them. I started to see that SNC is a pretty special place. To this day, my cousin Dolores Aish can't say enough good things about St. Norbert. I believe the year was 1998. I had a chef working for me by the name of Pat Wilkinson. Pat was a great guy and a good chef. We lost Pat that year due to complications stemming from his diabetes. It was a very sad and trying time for Pat's own family and for his St. Norbert family. I was very appreciative of the support we received from the college community. We had a number of Norbertine priests come visit and talk to the production team to make sure we were all doing okay. The care and compassion shown by the Norbertines in the college community was overwhelming and very appreciated. Again, our St. Norbert College family was there for all of us in a very difficult time, and they went above and beyond. I would like to talk about some of the people I've worked with at St. Norbert over the past many years that have made such a positive impact on me. Tom Foss. What a gentle and genuine man he was. Always so positive, friendly. Losing Tom was a great loss to this institution. I remember being on a committee with Tom. I was and there were other faculty and administration on this committee. I was the president of the hourly staff at the time, and I was assigned to whatever committee it was. The thing I remember being on this committee is I was way over my head. And I remember being there and listening to, Ken Zaharsky and Tom Foss and others talking, and they're looking at me, and I'm diligently writing notes, and I'm just writing down words that I didn't understand, so I go home and look them up that night. And I did tell Tom that at one time, and he got a kick out of it, but yeah, it was very interesting and very educational for me because I learned a lot of new words. But I have always thought the world of Tom, and he's always treated myself and my staff with so much respect. We loved him. Merle Adams. I saw Merle recently at the dedication lunch for the Dudley Birder Hall. I've not seen Merle for many, many years, and I didn't know Merle all that well, but I let Merle know how much I appreciated all his support he gave me when I was promoted and took over as the head chef here at the college. There was a chef here before me who had been here for many, many years and was very well liked. And when I came in, it was a change and so forth, but he was at faculty staff dinners or other dinners he might have been, after the dinner was over, he'd come and find me and he'd tell me what a great job I did. And he was just so supportive and always had a kind word for what we did. And it really went a long way that someone who you really didn't know that well but went out of their way to make sure you knew how he felt. And just shows a little kindness towards someone can go such a long way. I'll always remember Merle. Don Solomon. Don Solomon helped me in a way that he probably never imagined. Again, after I was promoted to my current position, I received a card from Don one day. You see, we prepare many advancement luncheons, and so they're entertaining guests where they're doing their thing in the advancement world. And, well, I guess there had been a couple of luncheons where the meals were less than spectacular. Don, in a very professional and nice manner, let me know just that. He let me know how vital what we do for these luncheons can help in raising donations for the college. It really opened my eyes to how integral my job at St. Norbert College was. Don made me feel what myself and my staff did for them was quite impactful. He really made me raise my game as a chef, and I would like to thank him for that. Don has always been a great supporter for me and a good friend. Larry Van Alstine. What can you say about Larry? Larry is just one of the most gregarious, friendly, nice men you'll ever want to meet. I first met Larry when he was the AD and he was a member of the Hourly Association. Larry's positivity and welcoming demeanor has always made an impression on me. Larry was a huge supporter when the Hourly Association was making recommendations to make all employees' benefits the same. At one time, Hourly had different retirement plan than the faculty and administration had. Larry was extremely supportive that all employees should receive the same benefits. I would also like to thank Eileen Finnerty and Deb Mothy for all their hard work that also went into developing the benefits we all receive now. Gary Hafer. I just want to say how fortunate we are at St. Norbert College to have Gary as our HR director. Gary brings a very Christian attitude to a very difficult job. Our Human Resources Department, led by Gary, does an outstanding job. We have many, many special folks at St. Norbert College to work with. These are just a few of the very special people who have touched me in different ways. I'd like to thank my team here for coming today. Gosh, how special is this, huh? I have a great production team, and we have such a great marketplace team. You guys are all wonderful. I've worked with all these people for many, many years. They are so dedicated to this college, it's unbelievable. The work they do, how hard they work. They come in running and they don't complain. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. And our catering team, again, they're kind of up there a little bit. Thank you very much. Terry, Sue, Carla, you're all wonderful. You guys do a great job. I could go on forever talking about them, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to get to the two last people that I would like to thank that are very special to me, Ruth Johnson and Mary Jo Morris. I've been blessed with these two as my managers, and a chef could not ask for better managers to have. The mentoring they give is wonderful. Through good times or bad, they are so even-keeled. When problems arise, they're there to help solve the problems, not to push blame on somebody. I would suggest that if St. Norbert College wanted to show the model of ideal managers, you could just show them a picture of Ruth and Mary Jo. They do a great job. Thank you very much. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about my family. So dear to me. I even have my little grandson Oliver here, I see. My wife's holding. Amelia and Michael have two children. They're my grandchildren. Eloise, probably good thing you didn't bring her. She's 19 months. And Oliver is, what, 7 weeks? All right. We had a wedding this past weekend. My oldest son, Sam, and his fiancée, Katie, were married. It was a great weekend. We had so much fun. It brought all the family together again. When we get together with our 6 kids, it's an amazing time. It brings back all sorts of memories from the past of raising our 6 kids. My wife, Mary Ann, and I have been blessed with fantastic children. They are all now adults, and we are so proud of them. I'd like to read something that my daughter Amelia wrote, I think, back when she was in maybe middle school. And it just really, it always has touched me with the sincerity, but it really kind of showed what our family is all about. She wrote, "My family is a Broadway production. Always busy and on the go, yet we find time to accomplish goals and help each other in loving, caring ways. My mother is the director. She keeps us in line and helps me to be the best I can be. To her, no matter what I do, I am a winner. My father is the stage. He shelters us and provides us a place to grow within his loving care and support. My brother Sam is the scenery. He adds color and light to the tough times and brightens us in all situations. My sister Cassie is the music. She's sometimes loud and annoying, but usually quiet, peaceful, and encouraging. My brother Pete is the band. Again, he is loud and noisy, but without him, life is dull and even boring. He adds excitement to life. My brother Andy is the lights. He shines upon us with his unending love and kindness. He lights the way for us during hard times and brightens the daytime. My brother Tony is the floor. He is... I think after last night he might have been on the floor. No, he is there to support us and hold us all up, not only in our times of need, but always. My grandma is the curtains. She is warm and enveloping. She's quick to hide our mistakes, yet steps aside to let me grow. My grandpa is the audience. He is not always there physically, but you can count on him to cheer you on and be there every step of the way. And Amelia writes about herself, I am the backstage crew. I keep my friends and family in line while helping them to be the best they can be. Without me, the play of life wouldn't be possible. That really always meant a lot to, we have this framed and have it in our house, and it means a lot to us. St Norbert College has educated 4 of my 6 children. The 2 youngest, Andy and Tony, are currently at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. They're on the tuition exchange there. Otherwise, they'd be at St Norbert. That tuition exchange, tuition waiver has been such a great benefit to all of us, and especially me and my family. We're just so fortunate to have that. I mentioned we had a wedding this past weekend. Sam is the 3rd of our children to have been married. St. Norbert College had a hand in Amelia, Cassie, and Sam all meeting their spouses. We are very fortunate with the type of person that they all chose to marry. Raising 6 children is not the easiest thing in the world, but it is the most rewarding. Whatever happens in life, my family comes first. My job is extremely important to me, but my family is my heart and always will be. No matter what happens at work or in your social life, it could be good or bad. When you go home, you have the foundation of your family to share your day with. Never underestimate the love and caring your parents, siblings, grandparents have for you. As parents, we may not have been able to give our children everything they always wanted. We did give them everything they really needed: love, time, attention. Those things that can't be bought. And as parents, we are our children's first role models. I remember many years ago, this is a story about not being such a good role model. I was at my oldest son's basketball game when he was in 6th grade. I was being one of those parents that would yell at the official and act like a jackass. On the way home, my son Sam said to me, and I'm sure this was not easy for him to say, but he said, "Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing when you do that." It really made me think about, how my negative actions as a parent can have a disruptive influence on my kids in an athletic or social situation. Lesson learned. I did learn to be a little more sly about it sometimes, but, as a parent, and as a lot of the young people we have here today, getting involved with your children's activities is so important. Don't be a parent that just kind of stands off on the side. I mean, be there to support them in whatever way you can, but get involved with what they're doing. It means a lot to them. And it also, there's different ways of getting involved. I mean, I've seen parents, I've been involved with youth sports and organizations for the past 20 years. If you're going to get involved just to give your kid an edge, maybe help coach a team to maybe give your kid an edge to play the position you want him to play, then you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. But if you want to get involved to help the whole team, that's important. That's the reason to get involved. The best lessons about ethics and how to be honorable do not come from school discussions, nor should you expect your children's teachers to teach them. They come from family life where we treat one another with respect, consideration, and love. Children are not born with hate and bigotry in their minds or souls. It is taught. It is our jobs as parents to mold our children to be accepting of others no matter their skin color, what they look like, or their heritage. It is so much easier to teach love and acceptance. Again, I said before, I was involved with many different youth organizations, with the kids. I coached baseball from Bambino League up to Babe Ruth League. I've coached 5th and 6th grade football. I've been so involved with the Green Bay Area Babe Ruth League the past 3 years as president of the league. I've just, retired from that. Being involved in high school with their football booster clubs and baseball booster clubs, those types of things. Be involved with your kids. Be involved. As parents, we were kind of fortunate we just caught the beginning of the whole cell phone boom and that whole thing with our kids. we had a rule in our family that kids couldn't have a cell phone until they were 16, and if you were going to get a cell phone, you had to get a job so you could pay for that cell phone. There were really no free rides, in our family. If you wanted something, you had to earn it. And one of the things that was so important to my wife and I were the family dinners. With piano lessons, soccer, baseball, football, track practice, musical rehearsals, and work schedules, it was tough to schedule a time. But rounding up the family for dinner, that can be difficult, but it was important. We made it a priority to sit down as a family and enjoy a meal together. The time spent has great benefits to your children. Conversations during the meal provide opportunities for the family to dialogue, bond, plan, connect, and hash over their day and the happenings at school or at practice. There's a chance to share information and news of the day, as well as give extra attention to your kids. Family meals foster a sense of belonging. Family meals are a great opportunity to teach appropriate table manners and etiquette and social skills. We would occasionally have the etiquette dinners so our children could learn how to have the correct manners when eating out or at others' homes. And I did use my kids and family as guinea pigs for a lot of the recipes that I do here in the cafeteria. So they ate a lot of those foods, and they got, unfortunately they had to have the ones that didn't turn out so well. So we did a lot of recipe testing in my kitchen. With our house as busy as it always was, after dinner and dishes were done and it was time for homework, piano lessons, piano practice, etc. We had a rule at our house: no television or gaming on school nights. Our house was just too busy. The kids really never grumbled about it, at least not to us. They grew up with it, and it was just a part of their lives. Keep your kids involved. Keep them involved in, whether in grade school, high school, it's important. They need to have something to do in their lives. That's always been kind of our motto is be involved with your children, keep them involved, keep them on the straight and narrow. It's worked for most of our kids. There's one or two circumstances that didn't work out so well, but we won't talk about those today. I want you to think I was a good parent. So just to rehash, I love my family here at St Norbert College. I dearly love my family and my wife that I've raised. Not my wife, my family. She pretty much raised me, so. I just want to thank you all for coming today. It meant a lot to me to be able to say a few words and send my message across. So thank you very much.